Dr. Dallas.
Dr. Dallas, I don't know if I can read some of these.
Okay, so we shouldn't. We can let them call in about that.
What? One of them, James, you see this right here? I don't know about, I can read it, but I don't know if,
So we talk about the crane exercises, we talk about the male deer exercises, prostrate massaging. So there's a difference in that than, say, masturbation. And so what we want to do is we took some time, we did an 8-cassette booklet for individuals to be able to purchase. One of the reasons that we did this is because as a minister and being so involved with the church, we found, and this surprisingly was 10 years ago, and now today it's really come full manifestation in terms of the attack, the enemy's attack on the marriage unit.
Yes.
And a lot of that has to do with people not being satisfied. You're simply not going to stay with your job if you're not satisfied. You're not going to stay with the dog that's not making you happy, whatever the case may be. And so with the couple unit, a lot of that was just an inability to satisfy the partner. And again, the direct correlation between the amount of processed and fast foods we eat or a lack of a healthy diet, and the stress levels that people are under today. The stress of, wanting to drive the fancy cars, wanting to live in a house that has 10 bedrooms, but yet you can't even perform in 1 bedroom, So it becomes an issue. And so in that, people started to say, what can we do? So this really goes into the educational piece. I was surprised in counseling people for sexology that we used to do Russ Parr's show, Damon Dash up in New York. And when people would call in, we would have the live. People don't even know the physical anatomy of the body. If you don't even know the anatomy of the body, you obviously don't know how it functions. And if you don't know these things, then how do you really expect it to work? And so just teaching people, not necessarily the functionality of the various parts of the body, but how they all intertwine and act together. And when the mind is not stress-free, the direct correlation that has on the nervous system that goes directly to the vein structure in the reproductive glands.
Let's touch on this, Dr. Dallas, then. Some of the listeners and viewers may be a little afraid. Guys, the ego kicks in, especially for men. I don't know how women feel, but for the guys, the ego kicks in. But somehow, I feel comfortable talking to you, and I'm talking to you. This was on air, sexology, and live millions of viewers. But how are you able to do that?
Because, and I will say, that of all of the clients I've had, those that are on their deathbed from cancer and everything else, my best clients have been the male that cannot get an erection because they will do everything that you tell them to do. And when we implement the information that we have been educated on, we are empowered. And so when they follow and then they tell everybody, they tell all the guys, and so they would come in. We actually had another flavor. We still have it. We just don't have it on the market right now. It's called ecstasy, and it has garlic base and a little cayenne pepper. And the cayenne pepper is the trick. It does what Viagra did for the most part. It's red, and we just talked about red foods being autostimulants, and just putting a little red pepper under the tongue makes a big difference. So we had like hundreds of people coming into our studio buying the ecstasy popcorn that had the cayenne pepper. And I guess they didn't know that I was the radio host. They would just come through the door and say, I understand, get some ecstasy popcorn over here. So, guys, they're looking to change the situation. So I think even though the ego exists, if they feel comfortable with you. We talked about networking. What's the best way to network in business? It's establishing a relationship where people feel comfortable with you, where people trust you. When people trust you, you can sell anything.